Welcome to part 2 of 2 of our Julius Schwartz series. Last episode, we talked about Julius Schwartz and his early involvement in the Pulp magazines and how they influenced him to introduce science fiction into his work at DC Comics. This then helped revitalize the superhero Silver Age through his involvement with Flash and the Green Lantern. In this episode, we're going to go beyond the Flash and Green Lantern into a greater Silver Age DC universe that Julius Schwartz had a hand in co-creating. Now, going beyond Flash, let's look at other characters that Julius Schwartz helped pioneer to create. Julius Schwartz was also the editor who oversaw and pushed the formation of the Justice League of America, with writer Gardner Fox and artist Mike Sekowsky in The Brave and the Bold 28, 1960, as a reinvigoration of the Golden Age Justice Society concept with a glorious assembly of our favorite superheroes fighting off an alien invasion by Starro, yet another science fiction concept. This cause of alien invasion uniting a team of separate superheroes would also be emulated in Marvel's 2012 film, Avengers. So now we're seeing that the DC TV universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe are utilizing intrinsic Julius Schwartz 1950s concepts. Schwartz had an idea of the first man in space named Adam Strange. Murphy Anderson designed the character in a rejected cover. Gil Kane drew the approved cover for Showcase 17, 1958, and Mike Sekowsky penciled the interior. Interior penciling changed to Carmine Infantino in Mystery in Space 53, 1959, and he finally had Murphy Anderson return to the character to ink in issue 57, 1960. Now the pairing of Carmine Infantino and Murphy Anderson is legendary, and this excellence was seen and recognized and pushed by Julius Schwartz. Under Julius Schwartz, Gardner Fox and Joe Kubert reinvent and reboot Hawkman for the science fiction Silver Age in Brave and the Bold 34, 1961. Instead of the 1940s reincarnation of an Egyptian prince and princess, Hawkman and Hawkgirl were now science fiction alien cops from the planet Thanagar, hunting down a shape-changing intergalactic criminal. Showcase 34, 1961, the issue that starts the Silver Age of DC's Atom in their Silver Age of superheroes, was also created with Gil Kane and Murphy Anderson cover under Julius Schwartz's supervision and pioneering efforts. Again, this was Schwartz reinvigorating a Golden Age Atom character into a new science fiction hero. By 1964, Julius Schwartz had earned a reputation of DC's creative golden goose, and as Batman was spiraling into unprofitability under editor Jack Schiff and Bob Kane and Sheldon Moldoff, Irwin Donenfeld fired Schiff from Batman and gave it to Schwartz and Infantino to revitalize, creating the new look. Julius Schwartz, who was a big believer in interacting with fans and letter pages, a lot like Hugo Gernsback did with him in the 1930s, had revealed that Bill Finger had done a lot of the old Batman stories in Detective Comics 327, which added more salt in Bob Kane's damaged pride. And why does this point matter? It's because it took Batman away from the campiness of the early 1950s by Sheldon Moldoff, Jack Schiff, and Bob Kane, and made it a bit more serious and darker in tone in the realm of its shadow pulp precursor. That would then create a gateway toward the darker Batman stories of the 1970s, which then spiral into the darker approach of the Tim Burton Batman film from 1988. The Jack Schiff team that was booted off of Batman were then assigned to the Adam Strange comics, which ultimately ruined the character. That is evident in comparing covers between Julius Schwartz's last issue on the left and Schiff's first issue on the right. And yes, that's the same Jack Schiff that blackballed Jack Kirby from DC Comics in the late 1950s, like we mentioned in episode 2, The Atlas Implosion. Eventually, in just a few issues, the book was so low-selling that Schiff dropped Adam Strange entirely from the comic book by issue 103, 1965, which goes to show how critical and crucial Julius Schwartz was to the success of a comic book at this time. In 1971, Schwartz took over as editor of the Superman books after Mort Weisinger left with Superman 231, 1970, and the books became more character-driven rather than based on random gimmicks. In 1986, after the Crisis on Infinite Earths reboot, Julius Schwartz, Silver Age originator, left DC as editor of the Superman books, and Kurt Swan, Silver Age artist, also left as penciler. Their last two books were written by Alan Moore in a fantastic goodbye in Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow. This is beautiful because as we say goodbye to old Superman before John Byrne takes over, we see the cover with Julius Schwartz waving goodbye to all the fans. To say that Julius Schwartz was only an editor is an incredible understatement. Through the influence of Hugo Gernsback and his love of science fiction and logic, he transformed DC Comics and helped bring it into the 21st century with concepts that he had read in early 20th century science fiction pulps and books. By doing that, he is one of the grandfather co-creators of the DC Universe, which wouldn't have as rich or as successful DC Comics characters without him. But it's not only DC Comics, it's also the movies that Marvel is now making. A lot of these concepts from these characters from the 1960s were copying Julius Schwartz's formula for success during this time. So we raise a glass to Julius Schwartz. Cheers to you. You made this world a better place. Take care, everybody. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button. We got more to say in other videos. Also, check out our podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play. We also have constant updates on Twitter and Instagram, or continue the conversation in our Facebook group. Cheers.